The first question, thank you for the wonderful lectures. How should I introduce my young children to Buddhist teaching? They are all under 6 years old. I want them to know what I did not know and not suffer from the ego. Oh, thank you. How do we introduce Buddhism to a 6-year-old child? Well, I think we have to introduce Buddhism to a 6-year-old child in terms of how would a 6-year-old child behave and think. You cannot get into details of philosophy, and but you still can get into the practice of meditation. You teach your child to meditate, especially for crossing legs. The legs of a young child are flexible, and they can easily cross their legs, and also they can easily follow instructions. Just tell them that, okay, your legs have to be like that. Your palms, you must be folded together and put in front of your lap. And then you must be sitting upright, and you must not go to sleep, and you must do it. Your mind must be thinking about concentrating on your breath, thinking that you just tell them that you're not Jeanette in here now. You are a little sesame seed inside your nostril. It's like your nostrils are two polka dot doors. You see how you have a polka dot doors? You become a seed inside that door, and you're a seed and just feel the air in and out. You feel the breeze coming in the door, and you feel the breeze going, a cold breeze coming in from the outside, and warm air going in from going out. So you have to train your child how to meditate. And when they're meditating, say, don't think about anything. Don't think about cookies and candies, and don't think about anything else. Just think about that you are a sesame seed inside the door, feeling the air in and out and in and out. And that's what we call focus. Can you focus? And you give them a challenge. Give them a challenge. I challenge you, you can't do it in 5 minutes. No, I can't do it. So we can do it in 5 minutes. And then after 5 minutes, what do you think? Are you thinking of something? No, I'm not thinking of something. I'm just thinking of how good is the sesame that I can eat it up. It's something, they can give you all kinds of imagination. Always think from the psyche of a 6-year-old, and train your 6-year-old to do meditation. And focus. You train a kid to do focus, especially if the kid is ADHD. If the kid is ADHD, it's very difficult to train an ADHD kid to focus. It's difficult. But if it is easier for you, you could have been an instructor in ADHD. It's not easy. Because ADHD is always, what do you call that? Agitation, activity, what do you call that?
Attention deficit.
Yeah, attention deficit, hyperactive, very hyperactive, no attention, no focus. Exactly, the meditation can help. Attention deficit, because he has no attention in anything. Hyperactive is always want to move. So if you can tell your ADHD to stay put, say you challenge it for, how about 5 minutes? Yeah, I can do it in 5 minutes. No, it's just 2 minutes, and you're moving in 2 minutes, no, 5 minutes. So you're testing your kid how to lengthen the time of the concentration. There's so much you can do, and it's fun. You must find it fun to do it. If you find it boring to teach your kid how to meditate, then you can't do it. You have to be patient. You know why? You are doing the same thing to yourself. You are training your patience when you are teaching your kid. All good cause leads to good effect. You think you're teaching your kid how to meditate is a waste of time? No. You are reminding yourself also at the same time how to do it, how to focus, and you will do it together. There's so many imagination in helping a kid to perform. I remember I taught a kid at that time, a 7-year-old kid, to recite a mantra, the mantra of compassion. And I know that kid wanted a Christmas gift of a toy, of a race car. I said, okay, we'll give your dad will give you a race car, a toy, if you can memorize it in a week. We give you a week to memorize the whole compassionate mantra. Because he wanted that race car. So he tried his best to memorize. And then he did it in 7 days. He memorized the whole mantra. And up to these days, he's now 21 at UBC, and he's still, and he's been telling that before each examination, he's always reciting that mantra to focus, to get concentration. And he's been quite good in his schoolwork, in concentration and focus. Studies is nothing but attention. If you can focus your attention, you're 50% successful. So train a kid to focus. So how to train your kids in 6 years old? You train the kid to do that. And if you train a kid at earlier age, it's easier to do. You can also train your 6-year-old to recite mantra. Yesterday, I ran into news about the Chinese language. A lot of Caucasians wanted their children to learn Chinese these days, including, all those famous guys, Wall Street, financial Hall of Fame, financial tycoons and all that, because what they have comments about it, and even in the imperial palaces of Spain, of Japan, and all that, they all wanted most of them wanted their kids to learn Chinese, and their comments like this. They trained the 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, all to learn to speak Putonghua. If you can get on YouTube, which you always do, listen to those Caucasians, young kids, how they learn Chinese. Oh, they were better than me in speaking Putonghua, in speaking Huawen. And there was one financial tycoon sent their granddaughters to live in Singapore so that they can learn the language, being educated in Singapore. Because if you can learn the language, the next generation is going to be Chinese speaking, most of the Chinese speaking. And if you want to do business, if you want to do any kind of work, if you want to go to work in China and Asia, you got to learn Chinese. Yeah, as David said, there are instructions as to how to meditate. Maybe they can, you have a sheet of it, so follow those instructions and teach your children how to meditate. Yeah, and bring to them the values of meditation. Bring to them the values of getting into the spirituality of enlightenment, not just in being number one, always surpassing others in wealth, reputation, in performances. That's always been, the value has always been on individual pursuit of materialistic achievement. That's been the value for a long time. Now, who knows, maybe for the next 20, 30 years, the Buddhist religion will be so prevalent, so popular that people started to learn more and more about it, because they can't get satisfaction from materiality. Because many people are getting more and more material. We used to think that we have a lot of, you see, in mass communication, in technology, we have made tremendous improvement. Technology in communication has narrowed our path of relationship. We can correspond with people, so the distance have narrowed this distance, because we can WeChat, we can WhatsApp, we can do all kinds of things to communicate. But it seems that relationship among members, family members, are more distant and distant and distant. They don't understand each other because of the spirituality. What do you call that? Ignorance. And the medical field has introduced a lot of methods to lengthen the life of the individual, but it seems to me that there's a lot of psychic problems in the individual that has developed into disease, mental disease. So why don't we think about that area? Maybe for the next 20, 30 years, it's your responsibility to develop spirituality to people, different people. When we are out, there will be a wave coming over. We are another wave, and you'll be another wave coming to take over. There's always new waves coming up. Don't just stay in there. You have to carry on, march on. Okay, next question. Good afternoon, and could you please provide details regarding techniques to explore mind and mind impressions when practicing seated silent meditation? What should we strive for and be careful of? This is a broad topic. It's a broad topic that we can't just cover in here. It requires a lot of, first of all, we have to explore the main points of it, but suffice it to say that in meditation, you have to learn how to focus first. How to focus. And time would determine whether you're successful or not, which means that you have to train yourself regularly and habitually. One exposure is not enough. In a week, you have one exposure and all the others were just hidden somewhere, not doing anything. One exposure per week, not enough. One meditation per week is not enough. You have to do it regularly, for meditation. And also meditation, you do really need a mentor, because you could run into problems when you go a higher level. When you're in a low level, you may not run into problems, but if you're at a higher level, a deeper level, you may run into problems. And let me give you an analogy on why you're running into problems. In us, we have a whole storage, immeasurable storage of mental afflictions in our karma. And that has been accumulated not only in this life, but previous lives. Lives like ignorance, jealousy, hatred, arrogance. Many of these mental afflictions will store as energy in our computer, in our storage, in our disk drive. We have a disk drive, an analogy of a computer, all stored in there. And when your meditation is just like a sweeper to sweep it clean, something to purify it. And to purify it, you've got to open up your garbage tank. It's an enormous garbage tank containing all those jealousy and hatred and egoism, all these kind of things. When you are not meditating well, you haven't even got the power to open the door of the garbage bin, because you don't have that power yet. You are meditating, you were at the doorsteps of meditation, because you're not into that area where you open up the garbage bag and start to clean it, because you have to unknock the metal. Because I remember in the garbage bin, they have two security metals that you bolt it. After you bolt it, then you have to open it with the lock. It's not easy to open a big, huge garbage bin, Sometimes it requires two guys to unbolt that metal bar. So imagine, if you are meditating outside, if you're ready to clean up the garbage, you haven't got the power to unbolt it. So you have to meditate and meditate until the power comes. Growing and growing power in opening up the garbage bin, ready to clean it up. When you open it, it stinks. You get fainted, because there's so much odor coming out that you're overwhelmed by what you see inside. You're overwhelmed by your old garbage. And some of the garbage get overflow out too. You don't know how to handle it. And that's why we call sickness in meditation. Because of this overflowing, the overflow of jealousy come out, the overflow of arrogance come out, the overflow of inferiority come out, the overflow of depression comes out, the overflow of, so much of it. It's all crammed in the bin. When you open it, some of them got to flow out. You don't know how to handle it all of a sudden. And we call that an exaggeration because it flows out. You become more knowledgeable to it. You understand it more. You know it. You know it comes out. It knows it's depression. I don't know. I don't know why I got sick. I don't know it's depression. Now I know it's depression. I'm more sensitive to all these things where I can smell it. So you need a mentor who will be talking to you and discussing how that to be done. You know, how do you slowly clean it out? How do you get a frequent an odor killer to kill the odor? You need a mentor. It's not easy. This road is difficult, but it's a very fast road because you can directly clean the garbage out. And the Pure Land school is you don't need to open the bin. You carry that heavy bin on your back and go to the Pure Land. You carry that bin, and you start to clean it up in the Pure Land where Avalokiteshvara and Amitabha Sutra is telling you how to do it. He may have said, don't even unbolt the metal. Just get a crane to crane it out. So many ways. Faster that way. But that being said, if you meditate, you start to meditate, and if you know how to clean up the bin slowly, you'll be a more intelligent guy, a meditator, and you can tell the rest of the people how to do it. There are people who've been successful in cleaning it up, and they became what we call wise people, people who are enlightened, people who can direct you the way, people who can be teachers and gurus, who can solve your problems, who can help you out. You know, we need those people too. And enjoy our garden. We have a lot of rhododendron coming out, much more beautiful than last year. And it doesn't come easy. We spend months, 2 months to plant it on pots. You think the way that you can enjoy the garden, it comes from easy work? No. We put a lot of time, a lot of expenses to get the pots together, to get the soil together, we fertilize it. We need a lot of volunteers. Our volunteers work hard at it, touching the soil, cleaning up the weeds, putting fertilizers and watering it, making sure it stands in the right position, but making sure all these plants got pruned, and making sure that we don't forget for watering it. So we need a lot of help. So extend your compassion to all those who enjoy gardens, and let's maintain the garden that way. So we need a lot of volunteers, but you can, if you are interested, you can sign up for it. Who do you sign up to? Maybe someone, huh? Natalie. You can sign with Natalie. Sign with Natalie. I want to help in watering the plants. At the same time, you can learn how to prune a bonsai. We have a huge bonsai. All these plants belong to the field that we have next door. It's just we haven't got time to excavate and plant it, because we did it in the last autumn. We didn't spend any money in buying them. We just dug out the old trees and make it into bonsai. So we need volunteers to do it. And we need volunteers also. We have a forest that we created. We have cedars that are so crammed together that they will all wither away inside. All the leaves were dead. And then we use hydro vacuum, and also we use a big scoop to scoop of plants and space them apart. Now we have created a forest in 15 days, planting 32 trees. Each one is about 30 feet in height in 15 days. And now we need another extra work to do. That extra work is to drain the water out, because some of the water gets trapped in certain areas. We need to, what's that word for it? Not irrigation. French drain. Huh? A French drain? Yeah, we want to drain out a fresh drain to drain out all the water trapped in certain areas, because if they trap water in trees, the roots will be rotten. So we need to dig up, trenches, put all the pipes in, get all the sewage in to get into the public main. That's a lot of work. And we even need to buy maybe we need to buy a Kubota where you can actually excavate it and, lay in all the pipes, backfill all the soil, put all the road base on top and drain it. I'm a laborer, I know how to do these things. I just don't have enough time. I've been doing that all summer, all autumn. And Buddhism is not just sitting here and reading, Buddhism is not just reading words. Buddhism is to work, to labor, to touch soil, to touch grass, to appreciate nature. Not just sitting here and reading a book, to become a bookworm. Buddhism is to experience life, especially through nature. If you're a meditator and you hate nature, you can't be a meditator. You are an entrepreneur in the business. You can't hate nature. You have to get to nature. You have to like a tree. You have to be friend to a tree, to a rhododendron, to an azalea. You want to save a withered plant and make it into a healthy plant. That's called compassion. Don't just express your compassion to sentient beings, to all beings that have living capacity. Okay, that's gardening. Another, I'm thinking of, we have a website and we need people who can write good essays. You've been meditators here for quite a while. Why don't you write an essay telling us your experience in why do I want to meditate? Why do I want to join a group meditation? Or why do I like nature? Why do I like to meditate in the open, in the wild, in the woods? Write something about your experiences in meditation. Write something what you know about Buddhism, what you know about nature. And if it is good, we put it on our website. Our website is quite popular, It's getting more and more popular. Get onto our website, www.buddhisttemple.ca. You'll find a lot of my Dharma talk in there, a lot of other, essays and articles in there. I think you have written an essay, right? And that essay became so popular.
Yeah, it was actually quoted in the New York Times.
Yeah, it was quoted David wrote an essay that was actually quoted in New York Times. People after that essay. So see how influential your essay is? You have been developing, you have been promoting the Buddhist teaching. You have been telling people how to meditate, how to lead a happier life. We need people who can write good essays, putting their good, valuable experiences in the essay and tell people what happened. Not just you, about writers who know how to write. Tell them to come join us. Do a workshop in writing. Write out what you feel about it. Even New York Times appreciate your essay because they also contacted our website, Otherwise they couldn't have, read your essay, right? So we need more and more good essays. Get onto the website first. And you'll find it very beneficial to your practice.